have Mo, we have Dio, we have Nathan, we have Jason. Huge panel. Huge panel today. I'm going to put you on mute, Jason, because that whatever was going on there was loud. Dio backstage the whole time. He cutting in and cutting out. What's wrong with your setup, Dio? It's awful. Igal,
I was watching the game in bed, man. I'm still in bed.
Okay.
This morning.
Igal, talk to me, bro. Talk to me.
It must have been boring.
Bro, we are inevitable. We are inevitable. And I don't know about any other Arsenal fans in this panel, but we went 1-0 down, and I was just like, it's annoying, but I was comfy. I was like, we're gonna win this game. We're showing that we're gonna break them down. We're gonna get that goal, and when the goal gets through, the floodgates open. The floodgates open. We see the open pitch. We see the players getting a little bit more comfortable. Kai Havertz scores. And you know what? Bukayo Saka sets it up. Kai Havertz keeps the goal streak running. It's a beautiful goal streak to see him continuously scoring game after game at home. It's good to see Bukayo Saka setting up the first goal, then setting up the second goal. That was Mesut Ozil-esque. To send it over everyone else to the far post, similar to how Mesut Ozil did a couple years ago. Obviously not as good as Ozil, but still a beautiful pass in itself and a beautiful finish from Martinelli near post. And then you have the final moment, Bukayo Saka. In a moment where I felt like Southampton, we kind of got lucky. We didn't concede a second. Bukayo Saka finishes it off. And this guy, guys, Jamie O'Hara was talking about Bukayo Saka is not world class. Well, if that's not world class, I want more players like him, because I don't know what the hell that you classify as a player who consistently scores or assists or just major contributions to every single win that we've had this season. He's somehow finding a way to contribute in every goal in this game. He's gotten 2 assists and a goal, and he and Kai Havertz have a wonderful partnership also. Defensively, I felt like Thomas Partey being at right back kind of changed the game for us. Raheem Sterling starting kind of changed the game and how we played, and we weren't as fluid. We were trying to figure each other out. And Gabriel Jesus is probably my only major concern coming out of this game. He looks off it in the sense that he's not making the right reads. He's not making the right passes. He's not finding people. Just the continuity is not there with him and the players on the pitch. And yeah, overall, my takeaway from this game is Bukayo Saka is world class. We're inevitable, and you know what? We might concede a goal here and there. We're not going to probably get the Chelsea record, but still, when we want to be good defensively, it's usually away from home. At home, we concede the odd goal here and there, and it's just that's how it's going to be for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Souls. I mean, how worried were you at 1-0 down, and did you believe you would come back to win the game?
I mean, this team does not worry me one bit. I think we're so inevitable. We're beyond beatable at the moment. Like, every single moment, like, I am actually chill. This season is probably the first season where I'm not actually that worried about us not winning a game, especially against Southamptons and, you know, the lower levels especially. But when it comes to, like, your Man Cities, your Liverpools, your Villas, that's when, yes, I can be a little bit more worried and go, okay, you know what, they've got the quality to at least hold this out. But the problem actually today wasn't the fact that we couldn't create chances. We weren't opening them up. It was actually just not taking them. You know, we didn't have a goal on target until I think the 47th minute, which was the 2 minutes added on, you know, in the first half. We had one shot on target. That was our problem today. And you know, that was always going to get fixed when Trossard comes on, when Martinelli comes on, you know, moving Kai Havertz further forward, you know, those sort of situations were always going to be fixed. Now, the reason why I wasn't worried as well is the firepower coming off the bench. Now, we had our bums on the pitch and not off the pitch. You know, we had Trossard coming on. We had Ethan Nawari that could come on. We had Martinelli coming on. So that's what gave me the confidence that no matter what happens in this game, we've actually got the players to come on and make a big impact. And that's exactly what they did. You know, Trossard coming on, Martinelli getting the goal, Trossard being, you know, someone who's causing chaos every single moment as well, especially for the Kai Havertz goal as well, you know, someone who's being a nuisance coming in, you know, and he adds a different dynamic to kind of stretch that pitch as well and open up opportunities for the defensive line. So I wasn't worried at all, and I don't think this team ever worries me, especially when we had, you know, 10 men against Man City and we held our own. You know, we still managed to come out of that game with a point, and, you know, yes, we should have come out there with the full 3 points, but coming 10 men, going at the Etihad, and still being able to sit there and compete against them, I'm happy with this team, and this team, there's nothing that I can sit here and criticize them for. The only things that I'm concerned about, this isn't the first game where I've seen the defense be ripped open, you know, a few times. And that's something that we've spoken on many streams before. I do think there is a bit of a, once we start attacking a bit more, the defense does seem to open up. And that's a concern for me, because as much as we love our defense and we think we're solid, there are a few moments in games where it's too easy. You know, we've seen it when Haaland scored. We've seen it today when, you know, Cameron Archer, and there was a few other moments as well where Saliba and Gabriel got caught, you know, on the back foot and they needed to make recoveries. So they're the kinds of things I do want to reassure a little bit more, but that's going to happen with time. It's first few games, the start of the season, teething issues. You know, Calafiori for me, you know, a brilliant player in every sense of going forward, but defensively he has been caught out a few times. They're just nitpicky things that I'm looking at. But, you know, Partey coming in at right back, I actually thought he was sensational today at right back. You know, something that, you know, last season was the complete contrast. If you actually bring up the first 3 games and the match reactions, Terry, you would hear that, you know, that Partey was being heavily criticised, but Arteta being criticised for playing Partey at right back. Today's the perfect time to do it against an opposition where they're probably not going to bring a lot of threat into it. But rotations needed to happen. We need to give Sterling, Jesus, you know, Jorginho the minutes, because we've got a long season ahead. And it looks like the intent is we're competing on all fronts. We're going for every competition, and we have to keep them fresh, because we can't just throw them in cold and expect them to perform. So, you know what? A masterclass from Arteta.
Yeah, Nathan, I want to go to you on this, and the reason I want to go to you is I saw a lot of people on the sort of timelines, sort of the manager starting lineups wrong. I can't believe he's done it, and angry. Are you frustrated at all with who started the game for you? Is that something that you don't want to see again, or is it necessary when competing on all fronts?
I think it's definitely necessary when competing on all fronts. I wasn't necessarily angry with the starting 11, because I feel like everybody needs to be spread out, and everyone needs to fight for the positions. We need competition, and competition is essential to bring the best out of players. So it was more disappointment in some of the players that came in. I felt in particular with Gabriel Jesus. I mean, I don't ever like to say a player's finished, but his confidence looks finished at the moment. His decision making was horrible. He was playing FIFA Street. There was times where he could pass the ball off to Saka, who was straight on through, and he would chop back in. And really, he looks a player devoid of confidence, and a shell of the player that we signed 2 years ago when he first broke in. And, you know, he looked to kind of take our forward line up another level. So, you know, that's probably more the disappointing aspect of our starting 11 as opposed to rotation. I mean, we played a Champions League game midweek against PSG, and I think you need to keep players fresh. You need to manage their minutes. You need to make sure that players don't burn out. I mean, we see City do it all the time. We see Liverpool do it. It's essential. It's a long season. You know, the Premier League is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And when you kind of look at it through that lens, it's definitely essential.
It certainly is. And I mean, and the team that started also were the team on the pitch that got the equaliser and would have probably gone on to win it as well. But you also at the stage of the game where you would naturally be making changes anyway. I just think I just see the way I saw certain people on Twitter, like going in, it's a disgrace, this lineup. Why are we doing this? You've got to play your best team in every match. And I was sitting there thinking, no, I agree. I think there's a bit of PTSD in there, but I also think that's coming from some people just troll. So some people might just be doing it for attention, but this is also coming from the younger part of your fan base who don't know what it feels like and remember what it's like to fight on all fronts to try and win. You have to do this. It's a different feeling. There are times where, listen, I remember we had injuries, and look, V gets it because City have to do this a lot. I remember a time where we played Arsenal in the Fergie era, and we had some injuries as well, and it was an FA Cup game, and I wanted to win it. And I'd actually gone to watch Leyton Orient earlier on that day with my family. It was like a family weekend, and we're leaving the ground to go and to watch the game. My brother goes, "You seen your team?" I went, "No." He started Rafael and Fabio da Silva in midfield. And I was like, oh, no. We went on to win the game, right? But this is what happens. You have to do this. And I just think it's a learning curve for Arsenal fans. Giuseppe, what did you make of Arsenal today?
Mamma mia. Mamma mia. Yeah, no, I thought we were all right. I think that everyone seems to want to jump on Arsenal, apparently getting these sort of results when City and Liverpool both done the same sort of performances today, digging in deep and getting a win. That's what you do when you're challenging for a title. I think players stepped up. I think the rotation was necessary. Obviously, there's frailties at the back right now for us, but I don't think it's coincidental that Ben White ain't been there and we've looked a bit more fragile at the back. I think people are going to start seeing when he comes back how pivotal he is to how solid we are at the back. Saka again. And this is why I say sometimes he needs to get the respect he deserves, and he does. But I think the fact is, it's not even the GA. Everyone will go, "Oh, the same GA as Palmer," or "I think he's got one less than Palmer," and all this. It ain't about that for me. It's the fact that in every single game this season, he has GA. Apart from the Leicester game, which arguably it was the corner that he put in that got deflected. That when it's like kind of a GA in a sense, it's not, but it is. That's what I love about Saka. He's been stepping up. Odegaard's been out. We've got to remember, Odegaard's out. Like, this is why sometimes I feel like in these games we're finding it harder to break down these low blocks, because arguably the guy that breaks them down the best for us isn't on the pitch, you know, and he's our captain as well, and he's such a pivotal player. Obviously, we're getting the results and we're getting the goals, but I never thought, I was never in doubt today. Obviously, as well, people got to remember, Southampton are a bogey team, man. These guys always seem to play good against us, like always. And I think they need credit as well today. I know you said before we all joined that their defense in the first half was quality. I thought they'd done everything they needed to do in the first half. Yes, we could have been a bit better and a bit more cutting edge, but for what they were doing enough to keep us at bay. And then anything can happen in the second half. But we done what we had to do. Martinelli, I said it once the game finished, he's back. And when I say he's back, I'm not trying to say GA is going to go score lots of goals. I mean his confidence. You see it when he plays, man. He's a different player. From the first few games, and it's not just this game, it's the last 3 Premier League games. The City game, the Leicester City game, and this game, Southampton. The way he's playing, he's back, like the confidence, the going around players, the being a nuisance up top. So I'm happy with everything, to be honest. I thought Arteta had done the right thing. I thought Partey was all right back. Calafiori, quality. I see a lot of people trying to doubt Calafiori. The way he controls the ball and the way he plays with his feet, like
people are doing single event analysis on him in games. So 2 games running, I've seen him get, like, not 2 games running, that's a lie. Salvio skinned him early in the game against City, and that, I don't remember the name of the young lad today, once got round him and beat him. But it's a case of, so he's amazing the whole game. His ability on the ball is brilliant. He can use both feet. He gets twined up once, by each time, by the way, it's been by very talented players. And it's, see, that there, right there is why I think he's bad. That for me is just built from hatred. That isn't how you're meant to assess football players it's a bit, that's like watching Haaland score loads of goals and then he misses a chance and you go, see, I fucking knew he weren't that good. It's weird, it's proper strange in my opinion to behave like that. We are going to get, sorry, go on, Miguel, and then I was just going to say,
everyone who's saying, oh my god, Southampton made it close, they respected us more than they respected any opponent they played this season. They changed the way they played. The manager all season was talking about how he's going to stick to his principles and not change. He slightly tweaked the way that he played, showing a lot more respect to us than he's shown any opponent this entire season. And that's a credit to how good of a team we are, and that managers have to change slightly their principles to try to even get something out of these kind of games.
It wasn't to be fair, though.
So go on, mate. Go on.
No, I was going to say, to be fair, they did try to play out that back, and especially in that first half a few times, we did catch him out. So I think it was just a lack of penetration. I mean, we were all full play that first half, like, with no real threat. There was no real kind of there was no real danger. We were just, it was eerily close to what PSG offered us in terms of we held on to the ball, but we did nothing with it. And I felt like it was only once that they scored did we go up, and we went up another level and we actually stuck it on them. And I think, you know, that's probably more of a reflection of us maybe playing in year one and you know, not taking it too seriously in some respects. But I wouldn't say they were defensive all of a sudden and they didn't try it. They abandoned their principles altogether.
I don't think the game was close. It's just because a team scores a goal against a run of play and you have to kind of come back from that. I don't think it makes a football match close. Arsenal had more of the ball, had an abundance more of chances, also scored 3 goals to their 1. I mean, beating someone 3 goals to 1 isn't even a close scoreline. I don't think it was close in any capacity. There was just a moment where they clipped you on the chin. You've seen that in boxing fights, you know, someone's dominating, they get caught suddenly on the chin, they go down, you got up and then knock the guy out. That's not a close fight.